take a stroll through beautiful Avatar Korra Park.
Seems like the park Korra wandered into in episode 1 ended up being named after her. You know, from all the things named after avatars, like Korra Park, Kyoshi Bridge, Aang's Memorial Island, I'd get pretty sick of hearing about these guys eventually if I lived there. Korra's statue is, of course, in the same pose she's in at the end of the show's intro.
We've missed her these past 3 years, and we can't wait to welcome her home.
You know, for a series in which last show took place over the course of like 10 months, and this show probably took place over not much longer, if longer at all, a time skip is a pretty novel and welcome idea, if you ask me.
Here, spirits and people live harmoniously together. Like this old codger.
This dude is the same eccentric homeless man that Korra met when she wandered into the park. Good to see him again after all these years. This Zuko statue has been here since season 1, but it seems like the angle of it has changed pretty significantly in this shot. Alright, let's rapid fire these redesigns here. I think Asami's is probably the best somehow. Really get the vibe that she's much older. Seems like more than 3 years to me, but seems like she's grown into a more sophisticated version of herself, at least visually. The Airbender kids, I don't know, they look alright. They feel appropriately evolved from their first forms to their second forms, if you want to look at it like it's a Pokemon thing or something. Mako has become even blander, so perfect for him, and this reporter guy is already perfect, so I'm glad he's gone untouched.
Soon Prince Wu will take his rightful place on the Earth Kingdom throne.
It's insane, right? I dislike Varric so much, and I know he's coming back this season, and sure, Prince Wu can be annoying, but I feel like Varric's whackness has such mass, it pulls all dislike for this sort of character archetype towards it. So in my head, I don't mind Prince Wu all that much, but this is overanalyzing Avatar, so I'll have my problems and praise, just like always. Non-example here of overanalyzing Avatar, this is just stupid. Why does Wu have Bolin's eyebrows? Are they related? Is this guy an air acolyte? He's dressed in basically a fancy version of Aang's normal clothes. Actually, there's a lot of Airbender hues out here. Must be autumn.
Beifong told me that Korra is getting in tonight.
I can't wait to see her. It's gonna be weird, having the old Team Avatar back in the city after all these years.
I already burned the say the title of the episode thing. Get out of here. Another thing I'm of two minds on in Korra. Wow, shocker. The show wants me to think like, damn, they haven't seen each other in years, and honestly I do, but after last season where the team was so broken up for a lot of it, and the parts where they weren't focused on much, I don't know. I don't think this idea hits the way they want it to. It still just doesn't feel like they have the camaraderie of a Team Avatar.
After your coronation, the United Forces will escort you to Ba Sing Se.
Jordan never did that move! So they're doing the coronation here, outside of the Earth Kingdom, though you wouldn't really know that since the show never tells you that Republic City is a fifth nation until they heavily imply it this season. No wonder Kuvira is going fucking haywire. You guys didn't reinstall someone immediately to run the monarchy?
Kuvira has the Earth Kingdom pretty much stabilized at this point.
Define pretty much.
Don't worry, kid. The chances of you being assassinated are almost zero.
Almost?
Well, it's never completely zero for anyone.
Now you don't have anything left.
It's crazy. You're gonna redesign all of the Airbender kids, but you're not gonna give Kai a better haircut? The wingsuits as a replacement for the gliders, I honestly don't find it to be that big of a deal for a change, mostly because they use them very limitedly. They don't seem to ever just straight up fly with them. It's usually just like a controlled, speedy, horizontal descent that they can carry on some momentum upwards with, like real wingsuits. And even in the situations where they do seem to get closer to flying, I can shrug and say, it's only in short bursts, and I mean, they're airbenders. If they're doing this, they should have some extra control. If they were flying around like Zahir, then I'd probably be crying. And hey, bonus, you can't drop these things in the middle of a fight.
It's safe to come out, everyone.
What the fuck? Kai is voiced by Haley Joel Osment now?
Hey, us two kids just took care of those 3 guys for you.
There are hundreds more where they came from. My citizens are going hungry. Our entire state is on the brink of collapse.
Seems like the toppling of Ba Sing Se really has some ramifications to the world, and as we discussed a season ago, I am a big fan of shit mattering. And luckily, this season, that stuff continues to have ripple effects on the story, just due to the plot of the season being centered around the Earth Kingdom and trying to find a ruler, which is great, even better than last season.
We just got some good news. 2 more Earth Kingdom states have agreed to join us.
Bolin redesign, not much of one really. He just combed his hair differently, it seems. Looks like a stiff. Kinda like his brother. Pretty bland one. Not a fan, but also not a fan.
That's great! Julie, dish out some of that special celebration tea.
None for me.
No tea. That's like no breathing.
We don't get to see Kuvira as the train suddenly slows here, but it seems like she was unbothered with the quick deceleration, unlike everyone else. Cool little idea to show that she's very grounded and a skilled earthbender, just wish we got to see it more clearly. Enter one of the most glaring problems about Kuvira and metal bending as a whole. You'll remember I praised this moment from last season because it used the unique properties of metal in a way anything else couldn't be bent. That's really cool. Kuvira takes this concept much too far though. Kuvira has these seemingly endless metal sheets on her body that she can fire out with such skill and precision she can wrap them around people's heads as they're moving unpredictably. Pretty cool on paper, right? But if she can do this so effortlessly, she could also just send these metal projectiles clean through their heads as well, or arms, or legs, or whatever. Kuvira should be the deadliest fighter in all of Avatar if she can do this. Of course, she doesn't want to be killing random Earth Kingdom citizens due to her political goals, but later in this season, when things get more heated, she can still do shit like this, but the deadly version, but she never does, because it would be insanely broken. It's like the dropping someone into the ground or freezing them thing, but it's one step further down the list of unbelievability, because it's no longer a question of tactics. Maybe an Earthbender just didn't think to do this. But with Kuvira, she's throwing metal around all the time anyway. Why not just do the one that zips directly through their brain? Surely you could have done that without the metal too, right? Oh, she heard me complaining about banning the bending? I see. Never mind, bitching retracted. What the fuck?
You're Kuvira.
And you're the bandits who have been causing chaos, where I am trying to establish order.
The blocking is a little weird in this scene. Kuvira's standing at the head of the line here, and then this woman is at least 5 people down the line, as you can see from this shot. But in a couple shots, Kuvira seems to be right next to her, despite not moving.
I'm gonna give you all the opportunity to rehabilitate yourselves. Pledge your loyalty to me, and I'll give you a new purpose in your lives. Of course, if you don't want to join, you could always stay right here. Hopefully, someone saves you before the next train speeds through.
I don't understand. Are they somehow held to the tracks? Because it seems like they're just handcuffed. I think I would just walk away once she left. Maybe the tracks magnetized? Never mind, this is how I'm trying to be. These statues of our, I don't know, lion otters? Wait, that's actually a crazy woo chant. Alright, everyone from the anti-woo sect, make sure to come wearing your dark green uniforms. Otherwise, the pie throwing doesn't count.
What just happened out there?
Pie.
Bending. That was close. I don't know what would have happened if you weren't there.
You would have been hit by a pie.
You were hit by a pie.
Did you say strawberry pie? I'm allergic to strawberries. I don't think I can breathe. Get me to the hospital. Woo down.
You're allergic to bee stings.
Kai! Ha ha! Wow, you are a lot heavier than you used to be. You're really growing up.
What's up with your new hair? You look like a stiff.
I know the rumors about me can be pretty nasty, but I am giving everyone in this nation a better future. And with Bolin's help and my fiance's ideas, we're laying the groundwork for the people to achieve their own greatness.
They're taking the approach from season 1 this season, where the villain is sort of semi-sympathetic. They had their troubles with pulling it off with Amon. Surely they won't have the same issues this time around, right?
Your brother and I are getting married.
Isn't that great, sweetie?
I know things got heated with your family when blood bending.
Cool subtle world building that Kuvira's map detailing her campaign doesn't have the land that Republic City governs filled in. It would have been cooler if I knew that this area was a 5th nation though, is all I'm saying.
Governor, your state has been overrun by bandits. They have you outnumbered and outsupplied. The question's not if they'll take over, it's when.
What do you guys think your bandit cutoff age is? You know what I mean? When could you go from an at least semi-functioning member of society into the life of a bandit? Seemed like there was some pretty old ones in that band earlier. For me, I think it'd be around 35. Don't want to be an apprentice bandit any older than that, I think. Kuvira's map goes from being filled out in this area in this shot to being not filled out in all the other shots in this scene. She don't have control over Lake Laogai. It's too wild and free. Lake Laogai's always stood for freedom, if you ask me.
I'll never turn the great state of Yai over to you.
You have a lot of pride, but it cannot protect your people. Your pride will not stop the hordes as your city crumbles to the ground.
City?
Leave. Get out of my state.
I'll tell you what, I've never been to the Earth Kingdom, but I have been in some fucking states.
I guess I gotta go.
Don't! Please! You can't turn your back on these people!
I'm not. I want to help, but if the governor wants us gone, there's nothing I can do. I'm sorry.
Hey.
Honestly, this interpersonal conflict between Bolin and Opal could carry a whole season if done correctly. A relationship strained by being on the opposite sides of a conflict with roughly the same goals, but entirely different processes morally on how to achieve said goal. Seems really interesting. Hope it gets a lot of attention. Hippo Cow spotted, Angsaw flying one, piloted by Ozai that one time. Weird episode.
That's all we could spare.
Every little bit helps. Because of you and the other farmers around here, we have more than enough food to feed the town until we can get some reinforcements.
More than enough? Well, give me my shit back then. Look at how much you got.
So, You and Bolin doing okay?
Is it just me or the rain's sort of strikingly static here?
I don't know. It's really tough having a long-distance relationship. And I can't stand that he's working with Kuvira.
I can tell, but it does seem like he found his calling, doesn't it? He loves helping people.
See what I mean? This idea is pretty interesting. Hell, I'd take a politically complex love story plot between two lesser explored characters as the main spotlight for this entire season. What could have been.
You hear that?
The bandits have biplanes? Who the hell's funding them? Opal, little help here. Opal, a little help here.
What happened? Where's all the food?
You're literally not going to believe me. The bandits have planes? Honestly, I say fuck it. If you're not going to go with Kuvira, go be with the bandits. Their economy is obviously stronger than society's.
It might be time to make a tough call.
I like the thematics here. The governor is stuck in an impossible position of having to side with Kuvira and join in something he doesn't believe in for the sake of his people, or let them suffer. Meanwhile, Opal is in a similar situation. She despises what Kuvira is doing, but a lot like the governor, people she loves and wants to protect are tied up with the situation. And she too will probably be forced to make a choice of one or the other.
Korra gets here. I bet she's not even going to know who I am.
Pabu lives with the Airbenders now. Checks out, he was with them earlier.
Cause Milo the boy has turned into Milo the man!
Platypus Bear Ryu goes so hard.
Can't wait to go back to being a detective.
Right. Yeah, about that.
What?
I don't know how to tell you this. You're going to Ba Sing Se with the prince.
No!
Finally, punishment for all of these injustices. Maybe that's why I don't mind Wu so much, because Mako hates him. Hey Kuvira, how do you want the designs for the troops in Mex to look? Make them look evil. Crazy they have hand scanning technology now. What is this, present day? And I like it too, because you can see where Bolin's allegiance stems from. You can't say he isn't doing good. He's feeding the hungry. His side is defending the helpless. Bolin doesn't seem like an idiot for supporting this side, or blind, which from prior seasons you might expect they'd do to him right away, but they don't. Opal disagrees with intimidation tactics and extortion for the furthering of Kuvira's campaign, and you can obviously see the moral reasoning to that as well. I think this dynamic and conflict is set up wonderfully. Damn, Naga gets hella ghosted. No one cares. Tonrock redesign? It's a little midlife crisis-y for my taste. I know he's just wearing a different shirt and his hair's a little different, but you get it. Oh, you asshole. Oh, no, wait, never mind. It's just the window on a boat. My bad. False alarm.
I assure you, your daughter's not here.
Then where is she?
Out here getting her ass beat. This symbol on the floor is the same symbol from Earth Rumble 6 back in the day, which means that this earthbending combat sport is probably an evolution of those tournaments Shinfu hosted. Man, there's something they really nailed about the bending this season. There's something real good about it. We'll wait until there's more examples to talk about it, but like, goddamn.
Yeah, you kind of look like that Avatar girl.
I get that a lot.
Whatever happened to her anyway?
I wouldn't know.
And I think this little Korra segment we get at the end is perfect. Great to set up some intrigue for next episode. Great to set up that she's still down, not herself, losing to random cage fighters. Great cliffhanger. This episode's really good. I think it sets up basically everything it's trying to do really masterfully. Kuvira is intimidating both politically and physically, despite not liking the scene of her perfectly blinding all those bandits. It really highlights her as incredibly skilled and formidable and confident and ruthless, which you need right away for her conquest to work. It also contrasts nicely with Korra getting smacked around at the end of the episode. Despite Korra being the Avatar, she's starting from behind this season, big time. The politics seem interesting as well. This kind of weird gray area period where there's no ruling monarch and there's just some force running through the continent pressuring everyone to submit due to lack of resources. And opinions are divided on the ethics of that mission, very interestingly, among our cast. And of course, the Opal Bolin potential. Oh, so good. So potentially juicy. Magnifique. The show and this universe does its best when well fleshed out characters have to answer hard, nuanced questions. And it seems like that's what this setup is doing. The rest of the time skip chores are handled pretty nicely too, I think. We rejoin everyone for an appropriate amount of time to get the vibe. Characters haven't changed much, we just have to figure out what their new roles are and where they sit in the plot, and I think that's done well too. Really, overall, for the first episode of a season, I think it nails pretty much everything, right up there with the opener to season 3 if you ask me. Patreon shoutouts if you want to see the next 2 episodes of Overanalyzing Korra ahead of the YouTube releases. You can support me on Patreon for just a few bucks. Link, as always, is in the description below the video. Biggest shoutouts of all go to my top patrons. Arj, who got a concussion as a kid and gained 30 IQ points, just not quite smart enough to figure out why that happened though. Blanco, who no matter what vest they they put on, it's a bulletproof vest. Cameron Lowry, who can identify UFOs, making them just FOs, but really some of them are quite alarming after identification. Gene Cree, who can sharpen a katana with his teeth. Gyro-like, who I saw surf straight through a hurricane, clean through. LM the RMT, who got lost in a swamp in Ireland one day and is now friends with most of the creatures from Celtic myth. Luna Invicto, who found a secret code across every holy book from every religion, but if he tells anyone about it, their ears catch on fire. Matthew Lang, who did 6 sit-ups and got a 6-pack. Potato Scream, who survived the house fire by being so cool it offset the temperature around him to be just pretty balmy. The former meaning of life, who can't legally pop the collar on their shirt because it raises the heart rate of everyone around them by a dangerous amount. The 1 AM party, who doesn't get tired walking upstairs, and that's just fucked up. Whitrow, who has a similar disorder to becoming a werewolf during a full moon, except instead of the werewolf thing, they can deadlift 550 pounds. And WowDude87, who, if the conditions are right, can create a small rainbow briefly with a roundhouse kick. And my other fuck you money patrons, a sack of pancakes, Kevin Bartlin, Lewis Williams, Liquor Cause I Know Her, Omega Fighter, Tater of Tots, and that one Tyrion. And my god overanalyzers, 2 Boots Are Beat, Ang, Alan Garvin, Andrew Watchard, Ozzy Ruiz, Oropataro, Axel Edel Syndicate, Carlo Wren, Chandler Crump, Cosmic Noomy, Dr. Xerox, Dominic Saint, Emma Not Emma, Aaron Grace, Firelizard 44, I'm a Match, Jackson, Jeremy Rubenstein, Jaker 4215, John Ajaka, John Warhammer, Justin Scott, Mac, Medium D Speaks, Michael Fallon, Mitchell Gobrecht, Nick, Nicholas Abbott, Peter Bayron, Bogger White, Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes, Rockin' Miss, Ryan Maxwell, Scoobert, Shane Antonacci, Silk Toe, Smarty Marty, Princess Useless Backwards, Super Snipper, That Blind Ginger, Totoro Bobro's Musical Emporium, Von Can't Spell, Some Sort of Bear Face. Ah! Oh, one breath, baby, got him. Good. Next up, probably gonna be a lot of comparison.